Hello.
Or when it starts going, dude, this was fun. Right. Exactly.
Hey, I'm Ahmad Simmons. I'm a Broadway performer and happy to be here with the Broadway studio. So my first Broadway show here in New York was Cats. I did the revival at the Neil Simon Theater. I was Alonzo. That was actually my first Broadway audition that I went to. Nobody really prepares you for the smell of sweat in a cattle call, or like the weird nervous energy that just like buzzes in a room. I think there were like 300 or 400 people in that audition that day. We went through about 5 rounds of auditions for it, and once we got to the end, we switched studios, and then all of a sudden I saw all of these people that I hadn't seen the whole time, and I was like, oh, what does this mean? And it was like, oh, they have agents. This is like the final appointment. But we danced down that day. I didn't really expect to get it because I was like the new kid in the room, but I got the call, and Andy Blankenbuehler, who choreographed it, invited me to do a little bit of pre-pro in smaller groups to get to know me more since I was new. And I remember my first day of pre-pro for him, trying to do this like windmill jump that he had in the choreography, and I was like so excited to like show what I had, to say, okay, I'm here, it's my first show, blah, blah, blah. I busted my ass so hard in that pre-pro, and then from then on I was like, okay, I can't screw up anymore, so here we go. I remember walking out onto the stage. I still do this to this day. Every time I open a show, my opening night, I have to go out and try and find the little time that nobody's on the stage, nobody's crossing to like put gifts on your dressing room station or anything. I have to go out and I just stare for as long as I can with nobody there. And I remember looking out into the Neil Simon and seeing like all the way to the back of the house, thinking in 30 minutes, or more like 45 minutes, like this is gonna be full and everybody's gonna be watching us. Like all of the energy in the room, the rat race of the city, the getting there, the parking, the eating, all of that craziness is for 2 hours, 2.5 hours is gonna narrow down to just like what you're doing in that moment. And I remember being overwhelmed, feeling overwhelmed, but also just like excited that this is like a new part of my life. Like this is everything you train for, everything you dream about in high school, doing your high school play, your high school musical, going to your dance classes, I remember feeling like this was the culmination of that, and the responsibility to sort of pay it back, pay it back to home and those late nights of your parents driving you there. So I feel all of that on the edge of the stage for as long as I can before a stagehand tells me to get off the stage. My most embarrassing moment on stage actually happened in my most recent show, West Side Story. I was playing Diesel in the revival at the Broadway Theater, and we're doing cool. This is a few nights after opening night. We're doing cool. I'm in these thin windbreaker pants that are really cute, blue with like a gold stripe down the side. Like I feel great. I feel like I'm killing it. Like it's that opening week energy. Like everything is there. You're present. And I go down for this one Anna Teresa drop that we do. We do a lot of these pop drops. That's what I'm gonna call it. And I'm right at the edge of the stage in the formation. And something just like came. I don't know if I was feeling extra that night, whatever I had before the show. But I really went down to this pop drop that night and ripped these pants from literally belly button to like high booty back. Like fully just rah. And it was one of those moments where I think it's like Lenny Kravitz has this video where he's performing and he gets into this lick, he's doing it, rah, and then he doesn't have underwear on and it just like everything drops out. Anyway, that didn't happen to me because I had some, nice huggable underwear on. But I remember feeling terrified because it was in the beginning of the number, and I just knew everybody in that front row was looking for that Lenny Kravitz moment, but I didn't give it to them. So. I would say the greatest and hardest lesson that I've learned is you have to immediately bring yourself to the dancing, the acting, the song, like right away. While you're shown something or you're given direction, like most things are just suggestions, And I came into the business looking to just show you that I could do what you asked me to do. That just deletes all of yourself. Like that deletes every bit of singularity that is so valuable to making your mark or putting your stamp on work. So I would say that was my greatest lesson, but my hardest lesson, because I found in myself looking around in the last few shows I did, looking around going, but that's not what or that's not what it was, or, oh, I thought it was this. And then you feel this like weird thing happening to yourself, this needing to be right. And it's like, oh, it's not about that. Like, it's, what are you going to put on top of it? What is your swag? What is your flair that's going to provoke the next idea in the room? So greatest and hardest, I would put there. Bring yourself right away. I tell people to do your research. I think Broadway can easily just be a dream, and it can be bigger than what you think you can have, or it can be overwhelming to think, oh my God, that it is the pinnacle of theater, like it's the Mecca to be in New York City, this is it. And when I say to do your research, it actually helps you to pare that down. It's like, so what kind of work do you want to do in Broadway? Like, who do you want to work with? What style of thing do you like? It actually makes it feel more attainable, because then you have smaller goals. It's like, okay, I want to work with this choreographer. I really like what they do. So let me see, what shows they do, where they teach, what their style is, what they like. And if you go person by person, artist, creator by creator, it makes that dream, that big dream, feel like you can attain little bits at a time. So my advice would be to pare it down. Like, keep the bigness in your heart, but the research helps to map it out, so that you have a real goal, a ladder for yourself. The best thing about making that switch from concert dance to Broadway is that I quickly realized that you're still working with images and intention, but oftentimes on Broadway, you're trying to be a mirror to the audience. You're trying to show them familiarity, or that their experience is your experience on stage. Like, you've been here, like you can relate, you know this character and this person, and what better way to do that than just be a human, right? So like, removing the abstraction that often comes with concert dance, right? With concert dance, that abstraction is you're making the shape, where you're internalizing a feeling and you're showing a feeling. And you got to break that open a little bit more, figuratively probably, and more literally. You break that open, release your eyes, release your mouth, so that they have easier access to the character and the story that you're trying to tell. You just remove a little bit of that abstraction, is how I see it. Finding your voice in that transition just is a matter of like being more person to person, right? The intention can still be there, but you have to relate to who that human is, and through the storytelling. Influential people for me, I would have to do like a combo pack, value meal. I would say Justin Peck for sure, because he brought to me a certain refinement in my movement that I didn't know I had. He comes from a very classical place, but still is athletic and intentional. But there's a refinement there that he likes that I learned a lot about myself with. Prior to him, I would say Andy Blankenbuehler, because of style. Like, to me, he evokes decades and decades of stylish dancers, stylish men, a sensibility that comes with the movement he does, and subtext. I mean, like, you're creating a full world in your head for every step. So style for sure for him. And then I would say Rachel Chafkin, who's a director, but has such a beautiful sense of imagery to access movement. She actually studied dance in school, so she knows how to keep that world spinning and relate it straight to the body. So that would be my combo pack. The refinement, the style, and the vision all together to create what it is that I love about dancing and acting and performing. I feel like this is so Fanny of me. I'm gonna say one of my favorite memories is, I understudy a lot, so going on for Jigger in Carousel for the first time and seeing Josh Henry as Billy Bigelow, sitting across from me, playing a scene with me that I was in with him. The same, playing a scene with Jesse Mueller, Lindsay Mendez, like playing a scene with Renee Fleming. Like that show going on for Jigger changed my life because all of a sudden I felt like this was me. Like I was in my body. Like this is me doing this. This isn't me just thinking like, oh, one day. It's like I'm here. I'm showing up. I get chills thinking about it. Like I just remember seeing him like sitting on the ledge of the stage before we're about to rob somebody. We come out of the water, we're sitting on the edge of the stage, and he looks over to me for his line, and I'm just thinking, wow, this is everything I've dreamed about. Like I'm here. That stops my heart.